Good morning to all. Before I go into my devotion, I would like to appreciate and thank the Bangalore Metro Conference under the leadership of Anbudurai to organize DUNAMIS, Youth to Youth Digital Devotional. And I'm sure each one of us will be blessed by it. This morning, I have chosen a very famous and familiar text in the Bible. Perhaps most memorized verse in the Bible. The greatest love story of all times, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. This text, John 3:16, is a magnificent and beautiful summary of God's great saving work to rescue us from perishing and bring us into everlasting life. Martin Luther once said that John 3:16 is a miniature gospel. The gospel in a nutshell, and how true it is. Let us look into the text. I have divided it into 4 segments. Number 1, design. Number 2, duty. Number 3, danger. And number 4, destiny. The verse begins with, for God. It is the basic and the fundamental Christian belief. God. The Bible tells us that God is a creator. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Further, we find in the book of Psalms 33, verses 6 and 9, by the word of our Lord were heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his life. For he spake, and it was done. And he commanded, and it stood fast. So we find that we have a God who is a creator. And not only that, he is a sustainer. He sustains our life. The third thing that we talk about, that he is a sovereign God. He rules over his creation. Then number 4, we come across that God is the Savior of mankind. Last but not least, God is eternal. Bible tells us that he is from the beginning. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And so we find that it begins with for God. And as we move further, it says here, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. The underlining word here we come across is loved the world. And then he gave his Son. The first thing that we talk about, design. Design of God in saving sinners. A provision of God to save sinners. It is that God loved. Because of his love, he gave his Son that we can have a hope. The second that we come across is that for whosoever believeth in him. So it's a duty of a man how we appropriate and enjoy the provision that God has made for each one of us. The Bible tells us in John 20:31 that whoever believes Jesus is Christ, the Son of God, has life. And so we find that there is a duty given to each one of us that we need to believe. And the third that we come across, the danger. Danger of what? Danger of sick. Sick of what? Is the sin. The Bible tells in the book of Romans chapter 3 verse 23, it says here that all have sinned and come in the short of glory of God. And Romans 6:23 says that all will die. The wages of sin is death. And then we find that the danger of perishing. Now, the fourth, that is their destiny. Destiny, it says, everlasting life. Because of his provision, because God loved us, he gave his son. And because he gave his son, we have the hope in him that the greatest love story ever told, the love of God at the cost of his son's life, rescues us from perishing. God bless you all.